Okay, dear arm wrestling friends, here we go again. Champions DNA. Next episode, I have the absolute Croatian and world sensation Rino Mašić here on Golden Arms channel. So Rino, I'm really happy that you have time for this interview. Happy to see you. How are you? You're back from the gym now, or?
Yes, thank you first of all for having me on the channel. And yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I've been sick lately. I've been sick for the last 4 days, and I didn't really train anything. I was just staying at home, feeling all terrible. And this is my first day back in the gym, and I'm feeling pretty good. I've just done some arm wrestling with my coach and one of my training partners, and I done some light weights, and I feel pretty good.
So now you're starting to rebuild after you're being sick. So
Yeah, yeah.
guys, maybe I have to tell the audience. Christo is a friend of mine, and Christo, tell me about you, about this young guy from Croatia, very talented. And the first time I saw you live was in the World Championship in Turkey last year,
Yeah,
and you were really impressive. How old are you, Rino, at the moment?
I'm 18 years old right now.
You are only 18 years old and you are so strong and so successful. To be honest, I can, in the history of arm wrestling, I have two names that I can compare to you. Um, One is Sasha Andreev, being
Yeah,
junior and really competitive on for the men. Then Artem Klimenko from
yeah,
Russia, and then you. So to be able to be so young and so successful, absolutely dominating the junior division, young man division is now, and be so competitive and successful by the senior. This happened one every 10, 15 years. We have such a
yeah,
big
yeah.
talented. So tell me how everything started with arm wrestling. How did you find arm wrestling?
Well, I started off first trying a lot of team sports, and I found out pretty quickly that I didn't like relying on other people, as I would give all my time and effort into training and giving it my all, and then we would come to some tournament and we would lose because the others weren't as simply they weren't putting enough effort into the sport itself, so we simply wouldn't win and we wouldn't succeed. And then I started kind of trying to find some other sport, and because arm wrestling is a family sport of mine, and my family actually started arm wrestling here in Croatia. We actually made the first arm wrestling club ever.
Oh, I didn't know
Uh,
that.
yeah, yeah. And my dad, my uncle, my grandpa, and my grandma kind of got me into the sport, and I got really interested really fast. And at 13 years old, I started training on my own. And then when I was 14, I met my mentor, Andrija Šimić, and then he showed me kind of the right way of training arm wrestling. And ever since that, I've been training the same way that he showed me back then, and it seems to be working just fine.
So you start working seriously with 14,
Yeah.
but before that, how was you before 14 in at school? Are you from the strong kids, or how do you consider yourself in school?
Well, I think I was one of the strong kids, as in fourth grade, I could beat everyone in school and even in college as well, some people. So
Yeah.
I think I was pretty strong as a kid, and that translated pretty well to the table.
I think there is something special happened in this early age when you start arm wrestling. I think the best. It depends from the person, of course, but I think the best time is somewhere in between 13 and after 13. I think you're good to go to start, and
Yeah.
your body is adapting, and you're now with 18, 19 different human being,
Yeah.
basically.
I think that it depends on the way that you train. Even if you start a bit later, like with 17, 18 years of age, I think that you could still really make a lot of progress in a short amount of time if you know how to train correctly. I see a lot of people do some things that really aren't good for the arm wrestling, and they don't train it often for strength, and they just do like hypertrophy for like bodybuilding, and they think that they will get stronger. But the secret would actually be just doing less reps with more weight and doing like progressive overload, I guess you could call it. And that would really be the thing to do for arm wrestling. And as long as you have good exercises that really isolate that specific muscle and you don't work through bone or tendons, you should be good.
Really interesting, guys. You definitely have to check the channel of Rino's. He's I will put it into the description. He's putting really in regular basis very smart trainings videos. If you're new to the sport and if you want to make the shortcut, don't making the stupid mistakes that I made in the past, you can check these young smart guys and channels there for Reno. There is really great. You can learn. Yeah. Okay. And how do you train at the moment, Reno? What is your philosophy? Your mentor. You mentioned your mentor. You still training like before. How do you separate your training over the week? How is your split?
Well, I don't really have a split. A lot of people keep asking me about that, and I have 2 days. On one of which I do back pressure training, and on one I do bicep training. And on each day, I made a video on my YouTube channel as well for my training schedule, and I
Mhm.
have two main exercises that are for my back pressure and then for my biceps on each day, and then the rest is for my wrist and pronation and rising. And that will be really the way that I train, and everything that I do I post on my channel. There's like nothing secret that I do. I post absolutely everything. So that would be the way that I train, and my training does last quite a bit because I need to take a big break in between each set, as it is pretty heavy on my body, and I do get tired quite quickly. But that's why my training lasts quite a bit. But I think I could shorten it up when I go to college, so I could like make everything in time for so I can make time for learning and training and everything else.
Mhm. So what's next for you? You want to go to college, or do you want to study something special? What is your
I was
interest?
thinking, to go to college for a for physiotherapy. That's what I was
Physiotherapy,
looking for. Yeah,
some kind of sport college. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Where are you from? From Croatia. I have a lot of friends from Croatia. Which part of the country you are coming from?
I am from a little town in called Gospić in the Ličko-senjska županija in the state. I guess I don't know how to call it in English. From Ličko-senjska
Uh-huh.
županija, that is called, for like a state or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember competing in Zagreb for a couple of years. It was perfect organization, perfect tournament, and in the city, outside, beautiful
Yeah,
city, beautiful place to compete. Maybe this year again. Let's see how it go.
yeah.
Okay, so your last tournament was in Italy. You were overall champion.
Yeah, my
Um,
last tournament was actually nationals, but yeah, my international tournament was in Italy.
Nationals. Christo was there from the Nationals. Yes, yes, he told
Yeah.
me. Okay. What next for you? What is on your schedule now?
The next thing that's on my schedule is the European Championship. After that, it would be ZG Strong, Zagreb Strong.
Zagreb Storm.
Yeah, and after that would be Worlds in Kazakhstan.
World in Kazakhstan. Okay, you are focused. Are you gonna compete, but also in the senior division?
Yeah, in Europeans, I'm going to go to the 110 kilo category, and I'm going to go to youth men 90 plus kilos.
Okay, 100 and okay, 90 plus. Okay, um, who are your biggest opponent in this division?
I would say Sandris Shedis and a Ukrainian guy. I don't know his name,
But Sandris
but
is over 100 kg.
no, he's below.
Sandris,
He's been on a diet recently, and he's been cutting weight. If I'm not mistaken, the last time that I saw his weight was actually he was 105 kilos. He was cutting weight for
he's huge
the.
guy. He's very tall. How he can be below 100 kg?
I don't
I
know.
really. Okay, Sandris. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you.
Uh,
Who next?
no problem. He was cutting weight for the. Was it? I don't know the name of the tournament, Riga or something
Riga
like that.
Open, something like that.
Yeah, something like that in Latvia. He was cutting weight for that, and he did it, and he won his category and the overall as well on the right hand, and which was pretty good. I'm not sure if he actually gained any weight right now, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, I think also Krasi is gonna be there. He I don't think he liked it that he lost on the left hand at the world. So
You think he's going to go to 110?
no, 100.
Yeah, that's
I think
better for him.
he will be 100.
That's good.
Maybe I don't know. The Bulgarian Nationals is actually this weekend, tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Is and they will be really interesting because Stoyan Gulemanov and Krasi are gonna pull in the same category, and they both know each other for so long time. Stoyan disappeared the last years. He competed last weekend in Albania. Won
Yeah,
the 100 kg division. He's in good shape, and Krasi is always is working very hard, and it's gonna be very interesting who is gonna win. And after that, the
yeah.
Europeans, it's really very stacked weight category, 100 kg.
Yeah, I think
Great.
Krasi should make a good video about that, like showing the plates that the championship is going to take place in, and posting his matches. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah. Um, do you remember, Rino, the first time you were on the table? Your natural position, your natural move was inside, outside, because you're one of these human being able to really press from the beginning, aggressively going inside, pressing. But I also saw that you're sometimes going really successful from the outside. So,
Yeah.
what was the natural move from you from the beginning?
Well, when I was young and starting off arm wrestling, my wrist was really weak, and I had no other option but to flop wrist press. And I guess that kind of stuck with me. And my press was really good from the beginning. And then my top roll and hook and other positions as well, King's move, low hand top roll, and the thousands and thousands other moves that you have in arm wrestling were not so good. And I kind of had to build them up from the ground up, and it was kind of tough. And sometimes I wouldn't really feel good in those positions. But after a long time of practicing and really working hard on that, I developed a good top roll as well and a good hook also.
Rino, do you know we have so many new people in our club? I'm living in Munich, also working out with one really strong Croatian guy. He got the third place in 110, Ivan Kopriš.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he's working. Sorry for his last name, I forgot it. But really great guy, very strong in hook, working out. But we have a lot of new people joining the sport, and they see people like you going really aggressively press new people, trying to simulate your style and also from Jerry. And I'm so afraid that they are gonna break their bones really badly.
Yes,
So
I wouldn't recommend anyone to go into a press or a hook if you're a beginner. I would say develop your top roll, as it is the easiest way to avoid injury. And I always say to every beginner that comes to my club and to my gym, I show them the top roll first, and it's quite easy for them to understand how it works. And from there, you develop a press and a hook, because a beginner's elbow is usually going to be very weak, and his tendons are not used to that kind of pressure. It's an unnatural move for the arm, and a lot of injury can happen at the very beginning, which we of course want to avoid, and that's why the top roll would really be the best move.
yeah, absolutely. I hope that more people are gonna see that and understand it because they again gaining power and want to prove themselves and going really hard. And but
Yeah,
we try to tell them, but they're still going really hard to each other. So the arm wrestling in Croatia is developing very fast. I remember for many years, so the Bulgarian also came to Croatia, supported the tournaments. There is some kind of friendly relationship between many Bulgarians who were supporting
yeah,
there, and I knew that it's only matter of time to get these top level pullers like you and some other examples. That's really happy to see the sport is growing and else else. But back to your natural move. So you start pressing and then you develop top roll and
yeah. It took
everything
me
else.
a very, very long time to develop a good top roll. Even now, sometimes when I'm with my mentor, uh, he shows me some different ways of top rolling. He's just such a mastermind. I can't even explain to you. And he just knows arm wrestling so well, to a point where I can't even like express that. And I wish I had that knowledge. The only sad part is that he kind of hurt himself, and he has issues with both of his arms, so he can't compete right now.
Mhm.
But even now, I'm learning. I think there is no really end to learning new skills in arm wrestling, new moves, new ways of improving your workout, and other stuff. So yeah, it took me the longest to develop my top roll. Hook came after the press, and then everything else came after that.
Can you say again the name of your mentor and where is
Andrea Andrea Šimić.
Andrea Šimić? He's a big guy, right?
He's my height, and he's yeah pretty bulky. He was
Andrea Šimić.
second on the right hand on the Europeans last year.
Andrea Šimić. Okay, I think I know who are you meaning. Okay, it's good to have a mentor in the sport that helps you a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I avoided a lot of injuries and a lot of dumb mistakes. Well, I wouldn't really call them dumb mistakes. There's just mistakes that he didn't know because he didn't have anyone to show him. Uh, so I'm really grateful for him, and for him actually to step up and really show me everything.
Talking about mentors, who are your favorite arm wrestlers worldwide that you look at and there were some kind of heroes for you?
Well, I would
Favorite
say
arm wrestler?
Arsen Liliev is one of my favorites, just because his speed and his matches are really fun to watch. It's really entertaining for me when someone has that much power and that much speed. Uh, who else? Mm, I would say that maybe Ermes as well. I like his top roll, and I try to often I try to watch better or stronger arm wrestlers than me, and I watch their technique and I try to recreate it on the table with some of my sparring partners. And he is definitely one of the arm wrestlers that I've been watching lately.
Mhm.
And I don't know, a bunch of other guys as well, I guess. But John Brzenk, of course. I like the fact that he can go in absolutely every technique, and his hand control is extremely impressive to me. But really, I don't have any favorite arm wrestler when it comes to training, as nobody really shared training information that I ever learned from. Everything I had to learn from myself or from my coach. So there's nobody really who inspired me to train really arm wrestling like the way that I'm doing it right now.
Um, do you love to go to the gym and doing some free weights, some basic exercises? Are you doing some base exercises?
No. I used to do bench press, shoulder press, and lat pulls a lot. 3.5 years ago, something like that. And then I completely stopped and just focused on my arm uh, from from this part down, and from then I've just started growing massively. And I mean, in power wise, because I think it's something like giant pumpkin training, but a bit less focused on only one arm. And that definitely helped me rise a lot faster in my strength. But I do find sometimes issues with my back and my shoulders, as they're not as developed as my arms, and I have some issues with them. But I do have some recovery routines as well for them, so I don't really have any problems right now. But that would
Mhm.
be kind of the way that I've been training for the last 4 years.
Okay. I wanted to ask you for some gym records, but you can give us at the moment gym records and the people.
No, my gym records are quite embarrassing, so I would rather not mention them at all.
Okay, I see. Um, you're absolutely young, only 18, but maybe in the future, what is your take? What do you think about the arm wrestling format of super matches? Is this
I
something that you consider maybe in the future to doing it or?
Yeah, yeah, I like the format of super matches for arm wrestling and the tournament as well. The tournament format as well. The only problem I think is because I'm not that big of a showman when it comes to arm wrestling on super matches. A lot of arm wrestlers on super matches, especially from America and from that side of the world, are quite good at showmanship, and they're super interesting to watch to new pullers and new people. Uh, but I really can't pull like that. I always go for a flash pin, and that's kind of my main goal. So I don't get tired. And
I kind a little bit disagree with you. Why do you think you're not a showman? I think you're a young, a perfect English speaking, good looking, young, strong man in development. So you're changing, you're learning every time. I think you're a big rising star in the arm wrestling, and I think that's going to be really big interest to see you in some good super matches.
yeah, that might be the case. But when it comes to like watching my matches, they're pretty fast, and I have like no reaction after I pin someone. I don't like to scream. I don't like to yell, hit the table at all. I'm a really calm person in general, even on the table and off table. So that's really how I like to pull, and that's one of the reasons that I might think it might be a bit less interesting to watch me than, let's say, Devon, who is always like trash talking, and it's super
Shit
interesting.
talking, trash talking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
because I got used to the tournament style pulling so much that I just don't want to get tired at all with any of my opponents, and I want to be fresh for the next opponent and for eventually for the final or semifinal. So I want to flash pin everyone, and that's exactly what it translates to the super match format as well. So so far I had two super matches in my career, um, and both of them ended really fast, and
Mhm.
it wasn't really that interesting to watch.
Yeah. I see. Probably if you meet the right opponent, then it's getting interesting. Like for example, the last match of Levan against Ermes. It was a devastating war, or Chafee against Vitaly Waletin. That was over 45, 50 minutes. They are both on the limits, redlining.
I think that those matches could have been cut so much shorter if the athletes actually transitioned and had some other way of, pulling. As you can see, Levan constantly pulled the top roll, and I didn't really see him try to get up and press Ermes. And I think a lot of those matches could have been cut a lot shorter, as well with Dave Chafee and Laletin,
If you watch this round, when Levan was laying down, he tried. There was a second that he tried to go up, but then Ermes hit. He was still pressing, hitting. Sometimes you see things on the screen and thinking why he's doing that, but when you are in the table and you're pulling,
it's different.
It's a different game. You know what you have to do, but you're not physically not able to do it. Sometimes, not every time. Sometimes the people really are not, they need some advices from the side to do the right thing, but sometimes they know what to do, but they're not capable.
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying that if some of those athletes knew different ways of transitioning and making some simple changes, I think the matches would have been cut a lot more shorter. And even if they are similar in strength, I think that the athlete that has more not experience but knowledge about arm wrestling will win most of the time, even if they are similar in strength.
How about the mental part of the arm wrestling? Are you nervous? How do you handle the time before the big competition? Do you have some routine or?
Well, I don't really have any routine. I am nervous most of the time until I get my first pin, and then I'm feeling quite confident and quite good. But I actually think that being nervous is good, and even a bit scared of your opponent, as then you want to give your best shot to win. Because if you're overconfident, you're going to, of course, make some mistakes. And I can say from personal experience that it's better to be a bit nervous at the beginning of a match or on a setup. But I don't have a special routine. I just warm up a bit before my match, and then I head into it with a lot of confidence that I will win, but being, of course, careful.
But you're able to sleep the night before?
Yeah.